About right coverages, obviously the pricing is important, but if you don't have the right coverages to protect your business, you could have the lowest price in the world and you still could be creating a problem for your business. So let's talk about some of the basic coverages that contractors should consider, and maybe some coverages that maybe they heard a little bit about, but they should seriously take a look at them, because our environment, as far as risk for business, changes. The legal environment changes. The things that can happen to businesses change. And we'll talk about some of those things. So let's talk about the basic things. And you hit upon them. We mentioned them here: workers' comp, business auto. What are some of the other basic coverages that contractors should really have in place for their business?
Obviously, the general liability is, like a must, right? But on top of that, you might want to, consider professional liability. In case, some of the jobs you might make a mistake, and you're not covered for the certain kind of work you do. So professional liability is another one, additional kind of coverage we could add for you to help
So,
you out with that.
so professional liability reminds me of something. I just had a guy. I'm in the midst of selling my mother's house here in Pennsylvania, and we need to put in a new sewer system. And so there was an engineer that came out to design the system, because it needs to be so far away from the neighbor's wells, and the specs on how large the drain field needs to be and all that. So if he designs that wrong and he gets sued, that's what you're talking about as far as professional liability, because he's did the design of that project, right? Where
Correct.
general liability wouldn't cover something like that.
Right. That's another, yeah, outside the normal, the general liability, professional liability will help you cover you in a situation like that. Sometimes landscapers might do design with drainage, and it might cause an issue down the road. They didn't do it correctly and things start flooding out, and it might come back onto them. So if the general liability doesn't cover it, if you have professional liability, it's another backup to make sure you're covered in certain situations like this, like you had mentioned.